there. Very good evening and welcome to the news at 6, where we get you through the day's top developing stories. Let's start with the headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates the 11th Civil Services Day in Delhi, tells bureaucrats to change their mindset about the government being an enabling entity and not a mere regulator. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley raises the H-1B visa issue with US Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross, told that the US is in the process of reviewing H-1B visa issues and no decision has been taken yet. Supreme Court questions the centre on making Aadhaar mandatory for procuring PAN cards, asks how can it be forced on people. And in Paris, police officers searched the premises of the slain shooter who took the life of a policeman and injured 2 others seriously. Campaigning for Sunday's presidential elections comes to a halt. India has categorically said that any artificial check on visas in any country will be fought legally, both bilaterally and in the WTO as well. The statement comes in the wake of the H-1B visa curbs being mulled by US and similar restraints being announced by the UK, Australia and New Zealand. The government said that Indians have gone to Western nations not to immigrate with accumulated wealth, but to actively serve the countries in their development.
The H-1B visa was the hot topic for Union Finance Minister Arun Jaitley when he met US Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross in Washington, D.C. on Friday. Pointing out that US Indians are contributing to America's development in a big way, Jaitley asked the US administration to review its visa policy in its own interest. Before Jaitley's meeting, the External Affairs Ministry also cautioned the US administration about its move.
No, it is not an immigration issue, as we have said earlier. It's basically a trade and services issue. There is a mutuality of interest is involved over here. There are Indian companies, Indian workers in United States. There are also United States companies in India, as you know, very large United States companies, and I don't need to name them, in the IT sector, which dominate the world, the multilaterals.
Jaitley is in Washington to attend the annual spring meeting of the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. On his agenda are meetings with his counterparts from the US, Australia and the European countries. Commerce Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has already set the tone for his talks by saying that India could take up the visa issue with the WTO.
United States, UK, Australia and very quickly New Zealand and so on. Countries now very clearly racing protectionist walls as regards service trade. It is time that we have a global framework on moderating. I wouldn't want to use the word regulating, moderating, giving a framework within which trade and services can happen. That's one issue. We will be actively pursuing it in the WTO.
The Indian government is also in talks with the industry on how to comply with salary issues of their employees. Discussions are also on with other countries who are considering following the US steps that could impact Indian professionals abroad.
The implications of the changes that will come about in the visa regimes will be part of our conversations on these matters with the concerned countries.
The government has clearly stated that Indian immigrants are not merely asylum seekers. They contribute to the development of their destination nations with high caliber skills. As such, visa regimes designed to restrict their entry could only end up dampening the progress of these countries.
Be it USA, Australia or New Zealand, these are just executive orders and it had to be enacted by law of their respective parliament. And that will take some time. India will have that legroom to campaign before the governments and legislators of that country and also take measures inside our own country so that they can understand the impact of these enactments. Akhilesh Suman for Rajya Television with camera person Narayan in Delhi.
We'll keep you updated on developments on that front. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Friday asserted that he did not lack the political will needed to carry out reforms. Addressing bureaucrats on Civil Services Day, the Prime Minister asked them to break barriers and stereotypes and work together as a team to perform and transform. He said it was time for out-of-the-box thinking and the government now needs to be an enabler. Asking senior officers to introspect if their experience is becoming a burden, Modi spoke about hierarchy and bureaucracy continuing to remain an issue which was inherited from colonial rulers. He also suggested the use of social media, e-governance and mobile governance as a means for them to reach out to the people.
पॉलिटिकल विल पावर ये रिफॉर्म कर सकता है, लेकिन ब्यूरोक्रेटिक सिस्टम गवर्नेंस ये परफॉर्म करता है और जन भागीदारी ट्रांसफॉर्म करती है। हमें इन तीनों को एक वेवलेंथ में चलाना बहुत जरूरी है। जब हम तीनों को एक वेवलेंथ में चलाते हैं तो हमें इच्छित परिणाम मिलता है।
Meanwhile, Home Minister Rajnath Singh on Friday asked all states to ensure safety of Kashmiris living in different parts of the country. Condemning the alleged incidents of harassment of Kashmiris, the Home Minister said that they are like any other Indian citizens. An advisory is being sent to the Home Ministry to all the states to ensure the safety and security of people from the valley. His statement came amidst reports alleging that Kashmiri students in Rajasthan and Uttar Pradesh were being threatened after the latest incidents of stone pelting and assault on security personnel by Kashmiri youths in the valley. The Home Minister said that a proper inquiry should be initiated in each case and that the strongest possible action should be taken against the guilty.
मैं सभी मुख्यमंत्रियों से मैं अपील करता हूं कि यह सुनिश्चित करें कि किसी भी कश्मीरी नवयुवक के साथ कोई बदसलूकी देश के किसी भी हिस्से में नहीं होनी चाहिए, क्योंकि वह भी भारत के एक सम्मानित नागरिक हैं। मैंने आज गृह सचिव को भी कहा है कि इस संबंध में सभी राज्यों को तुरंत एडवाइजरी जारी कर दी जाए।
China on Friday warned that India will pay dearly if it continues playing the Dalai Lama card. Dismissing India's reaction to Beijing renaming 6 places in Arunachal Pradesh, China said that India should seriously think as to why it took the action. China also claimed that the region does not belong to India just because the Dalai Lama says so. The latest attack on India comes just days after Beijing announced that it is renaming 6 places in Arunachal Pradesh that China claims as its territory. India has dismissed the action, stating that every inch of the state belongs to the country and that no foreign country has the right to rename any part of India. In other news, the Supreme Court on Friday said that it will decide on whether Aadhaar card can be made mandatory for filing of income tax returns next week. The apex court asked the government to justify the need for making Aadhaar cards mandatory for filing IT returns. Attorney General Mukul Rohatgi, appearing for the centre, told a bench that there were instances that one person was having a number of PAN cards and these fake cards were being misused. The bench, meanwhile, postponed the matter for the 25th of April. The union government last month made providing one's Aadhaar number a compulsory detail for filing IT returns and for obtaining and retaining the permanent account number or PAN. Now, ahead of the MCD polls, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal on Friday accused the BJP of trying to cover up its corruption in the 3 municipal corporations by projecting the name of Prime Minister Modi. He, however, asserted that the strategy by the BJP would not work. Citing poor sanitation in the national capital, he also added that the only hope for the people of Delhi is the Aam Aadmi Party. The party national convener also accused the BJP of completely destroying the MCD during its 10-year rule. The elections to all the 272 wards of the 3 civic bodies where the BJP, Congress and the AAP are locked in a triangular battle will be held on Sunday.
और बीजेपी को अगर आप वोट देते हैं, 10 साल से एमसीडी में बीजेपी की सरकार है, 10 साल में बीजेपी दिल्ली साफ नहीं कर पाई। तो जो पार्टी 10 साल में दिल्ली साफ नहीं कर पाई, 10 साल में मच्छर नहीं हटा पाई, वो पार्टी अब आने वाले समय में दिल्ली साफ कैसे करेगी? तो अगर आप बीजेपी को वोट देते हैं तो आप ये सोच लेना कि आने वाले 5 साल में दिल्ली में ऐसी गंदगी रहेगी, आने वाले 5 साल में ऐसे ही मच्छर रहेंगे, आने वाले 5 साल में ऐसे ही डेंगू होता रहेगा, चिकनगुनिया होता रहेगा।
मच्छर के दिमाग वाला व्यक्ति इस तरीके की बात कर सकता है क्योंकि 524 करोड़ का बजट इनके हाथ में था और इनको एडवर्टाइजिंग करनी थी डेंगू के मच्छरों से दिल्ली को बचाने के लिए कि पानी जमा ना होने दें, कूड़ा इकट्ठा ना होने दें, साफ़ पानी को यहाँ व्यवस्थित करें वगैरह वगैरह। लेकिन वहाँ इन्होंने अरविंद केजरीवाल और अपनी आम आदमी पार्टी की तस्वीरें जो हैं वो लगाकर इन्होंने वो पैसा खर्च किया।
कांग्रेस पार्टी खास तौर के ऊपर रजौरी गार्डन के बाई इलेक्शंस के बाद में जिस तेजी से उभरी है, 9% से हम 33% वोट पे जो पहुंचे हैं, कहीं ना कहीं के ऊपर कांग्रेस पार्टी खतरे की घंटी भारतीय जनता पार्टी और केजरीवाल दोनों के लिए बन करके उभरी।
The Yogi Adityanath government on Friday put a stop to the use of red and blue beacons with immediate effect in Uttar Pradesh. Adityanath also decided to cut back on security to VIPs. He, however, added that emergency services like fire brigade, ambulances, vehicles of armed forces and police will be exempted from the ban. The order was issued in the wake of a similar decision by the Union Cabinet a few days back. The UP Chief Minister also congratulated Prime Minister Modi for taking the step and said that it will enable in ending VIP culture in the country.
लाल बत्ती लोगों को सबको मालूम रहता है कि लाल बत्ती में वीआईपी सब बैठता है, मंत्री और मुख्यमंत्री। आतंकवादी शक्तियां है, खतरा तो है, चिन्हित हो गया किसी गाड़ी में है, किसी पर भी अटैक कर सकता है, ये तो अच्छी बात है।
And now let's take you through some more national news updates in Nationwide. More than 14 lakh lawyers across the country observed a half-day strike on Friday. The lawyers were protesting against the Law Commission recommendations, including a proposal to ban strikes by advocates. The Law Commission had suggested that lawyers should be slapped with penalties if they resort to strike. The Delhi High Court dismissed the Aam Aadmi Party's plea for the use of VVPAT machines in the MCD poll scheduled on the 23rd of April. The court says that it cannot pass such an order at the last minute. The party has alleged that EVMs to be used in the polls were obsolete and open to tampering, while the Delhi poll panel said that the question raised by the Aam Aadmi Party was sending a wrong message to the voters. West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has been re-elected as chairperson of the All India Trinamool Congress for 6 more years. She urged all regional parties to come together for the sake of the nation while terming it the need of the hour. She further alleged that BJP is defaming Hinduism and riots cannot be religion. Mamata also said that she is proud of all religions and her religion as well. Telangana Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao was unanimously re-elected as the president of TRS on Friday. As Rao's election was announced, the party leaders and workers raised slogans and distributed sweets. Rao formed the party in 2001. The party is holding its plenary today in Hyderabad and would organize a massive public meeting on the 27th of April in Warangal. The Delhi High Court dismissed a petition to stop the practice of triple talaq on Hindu women married to Muslim men. The court said that the law laid down by the Supreme Court in this matter will be applicable to all and that all women are entitled to equal protection under the law. A quick break here. We'll be back with more news in a bit. Stay with us.
In 1981, when I joined Archaeological Survey of India, I was given to explore the district Rewa, extreme north of Madhya Pradesh. Orient Stupa. That was a very exciting discovery by me. That site is a very important site. Today it is a nationally protected monument.
Watch Eureka with Dr. Fanikant Mishra, retired regional director at ASI Kolkata, only on Rajya Sabha television.
Art arisen from a multi-hued cultural canvas. Tradition and cultural fervour dating back centuries. And encircling them all, there's a magic that awes. Embrace your nation's brilliant human warmth. Watch Colours of India, Sundays at 9:30 p.m. on Rajya Sabha television. Tales that inspire. Stories of social change. A salute to diversity. Promoting public discourse. Events that motivate. Inspiring the innovative spirit. Watch Rajya Sabha television documentaries.
Hello and welcome. I'm Amritan Shirai and you're watching Law of the Land.
Ministry of Water Resources shall make all efforts to get the best available data, get the best people.
The dispute cannot be solved by negotiation. It has the authority to refer a dispute to the tribunal.
The major complaint of the tribunal going on an unending expedition has now been removed.
Watch Law of the Land on Rajya Sabha television.
The sacred relics of Buddha were unearthed in Piprava in Uttar Pradesh. Buddhist monks from all over the world visit the National Museum to pay their respects. These charred bone fragments of Buddha are housed in the gold canopy gifted by the royal family of Thailand.
Welcome back. Let's get you some more national news. And the Congress today expelled Barkha Shukla Singh for 6 years, a day after she criticized its Vice President Rahul Gandhi and Delhi Unit Chief Ajay Maken and quit as the local women's wing chief. The disciplinary committee of the party removed her for what it called indulging in anti-party activities days ahead of the municipal polls. Singh, who had yesterday vowed not to quit the party, hit out at Rahul Gandhi, saying that the decision proved his mental bankruptcy and added that she will take legal recourse against it. The four-member disciplinary committee comprised of former Delhi Minister Narendra Nath, former Mahila Congress Chief Abha Chaudhary and party leaders Mohammad Zia and Surendra Kumar.
करना 15 साल से ना तो चुनाव हुए हैं, इलेक्शन कमीशन खुला हुआ है, कोर्ट खुली हुई है। मैं उन लोगों में से नहीं हूँ। मैंने जब कह दिया तो कह दिया और हम यहीं रहेंगे, यहीं लड़ेंगे और राहुल गांधी मुक्त कांग्रेस का अभियान चलाएंगे।
वजह से ज़्यादा समय महत्वपूर्ण है, तो कोई ऐसा इंसिडेंस तो है नहीं कि जो भी परसों हुआ और कल बरखा जी को निर्णय लेना पड़ा। तो ये सीधे सीधे ये भारतीय जनता पार्टी की घबराहट है।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been featured in Time magazine's 100 Most Influential People's list. Along with the Prime Minister, who is a regular on the Time list, Paytm founder Vijay Shekhar Sharma too has made the cut this time. Sharma, riding high on the digital economy wave in India, has been featured in the Times list under the Titans category. US President Donald Trump, Russian President Vladimir Putin and British Prime Minister Theresa May have also been featured in the 100 Most Influential People's list. Times 100 Most Influential People list features pioneers, artists, titans, leaders and icons from across the world honored for the power of their inventions, the scale of their ambitions, the genius of their solutions to problems that no one before them could solve. EU Foreign Policy Chief Federica Mogherini on Friday arrived in New Delhi. During her two-day visit, she is likely to push for resumption of talks for the India-EU Free Trade Agreement. Mogherini met External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj to discuss the preparations for the annual India-EU Summit scheduled to be held in Delhi later this year. She is also expected to hold delegation-level talks with Minister of State for External Affairs MJ Akbar, covering bilateral, regional and global issues. Mogherini is also slated to meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi. However, the main focus of her visit is to push for early resumption of talks on the free trade pact between the two sides. Now to France, where just hours after the shooting attack in Paris left one police officer dead and two seriously injured, police teams headed to the home of the slain attacker to get more details. This even as the Islamic State has claimed responsibility for the shooting. Here are more details. Police officers searching the home of the suspected Paris attacker who was identified by the papers in his car. Although French authorities are yet to reveal full details, French media reports claim he was 39-year-old French national named Karim Sherfi. Reports also claim the attacker served several years in prison for firing on police officers with a gun in the early 2000s. More recently, the intelligence services identified him as a potential Islamist radical. Meanwhile, another man suspected of possible links to the attack has turned himself in to Belgian police. But details are still sketchy from the French government.
C'est à la fois de la solidarité à l'égard de nos forces de l'ordre, de la victime, du policier qui a été tué évidemment, de sa famille et de tous les blessés et de leurs familles. Mais au-delà de cela, on le voit bien, le défi qui sera le nôtre dans les prochaines années.
While the probe continues, Parisians returned to work on the Champs-Élysées on Friday. Several residents and eyewitnesses recall the moments when the shooting took place.
Je vais vous dire, j'ai eu très peur. J'ai eu très peur pour ma vie, pour ma sécurité en fait, et je me suis réfugiée dans un coin, dans une rue, rue Frédéric Bastiat. Par là, et j'ai attendu que ça se calme un peu pendant 20 minutes. Et en sortant de cette rue, j'ai filé au métro Saint-Philippe-du-Roule.
Si c'est ailleurs, c'est partout, non, il faut continuer. Il faut continuer à vivre. Je viens dans mon travail, il faut bien que je continue à venir. Je connais le secteur depuis 40 ans, c'est arrivé hier, ça peut arriver demain.
The attack took place as 11 candidates headed for Sunday's closely fought presidential election were engaged in a final joint TV appearance to argue their policies. 3 of the 4 main candidates, including opinion polls leader Marine Le Pen, have called off planned events on Friday. Speaking after an emergency meeting of top security officials, Prime Minister Cazeneuve said that all elite units were on top alert for the election to back up the 50,000 police already earmarked for the special election duty.
Mesdames et messieurs, le gouvernement est pleinement mobilisé. Rien ne doit entraver ce moment démocratique fondamental pour notre pays. À la veille d'un rendez-vous majeur, j'en appelle bien entendu.
The first round in France's 2-stage election will be held on Sunday with a final second round on the 7th of May. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. And here are more international news updates in Global Buzz. The UN Security Council on Friday condemned North Korea's latest missile test and threatened to impose new sanctions against Pyongyang for what it called highly destabilizing behavior. The Council demanded that North Korea should not conduct further tests. The UN said that North Korea's illegal missile activities were greatly increasing tension in the region and beyond. The German police arrested a man suspected of detonating 3 bombs that targeted the Borussia Dortmund soccer team bus. Prosecutors said that they did it in the hope of ending the club's plummeting shares and making a profit on an investment. According to prosecutors, if the shares of Borussia Dortmund had fallen massively, the profit would have been several times the initial investment. Chinese President Xi Jinping was unanimously elected as a delegate to the National Congress of the ruling Communist Party of China. Xi was nominated by the CPC Central Committee as a candidate for the 19th CPC National Congress. Xi, regarded as the most powerful leader, will complete his first 5-year term during the 19th Party Congress to be held later this year and start his second 5-year term. The Australian government scientific agency said on Friday that a new ocean debris drift analysis shows the missing Malaysia Airlines MH370 is most likely located to the north of a main search zone. The zone was rejected by Australia and Malaysia in January. MH370 disappeared while flying to Beijing from Kuala Lumpur with 239 people on board in 2014. That's all we have for you on the news at 6 from the entire team here. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a good evening.